When hope is gone, undo this lock and send me forth on a moonlit walk. Release restraint level 0. Hey kids, wanna see a dead body?
Hi guys, this is the voice of the Ravenclaw. Welcome back to another fanfiction story. If you like this type of content, smash the like button and subscribe for future videos and updates that I do post on my community tab frequently. If you want access to any of my early content, check out the Discord. This is the bargain between an evil god and a villain, part 14. Let's continue where we last left off in our story. Izuku was calmly treating his stab wound through his shoulder. This is the first time he's actually been injured like this. Izuku constantly replayed the same images when Lydia moved so fast he couldn't keep up with her. And when she stabbed him right into the shoulder with her holy blade, replaying the battle in his mind on repeat. With his photographic memory, he remembers every move she made, every gesture she displayed. Izuku wasn't oblivious. He knows his skill compares to her. He might as well be a novice. Izuku knows full well when it comes to power, speed, and experience, the woman has him beat on all three accounts. But of course, he finds the very existence of Lydia to be thrilling. Fighting someone so much powerful than himself always brings Izuku a rush. He's not bothered one bit about his wound. By tomorrow, it will be completely healed, like it never happened. He's always healed so much faster than normal people. Of course, he's never tested out the limits of his fast healing. It's not like he has a regeneration quirk, but that doesn't mean his healing is unnatural. It is very much unnatural. The rate of speed it progresses. So far, to his knowledge, it only takes a day to heal any wound, of course. He hasn't been injured like this before. But his own attack hurt him a lot more than the stab wound did. Izuku was interrupted by his inner monologue in his mind. That psycho human bitch did a number on you. How did it feel to be completely obliterated? I know I should be angry, upset, even disappointed, but it was completely thrilling. That battle. How she manhandled me. It managed to hurt me and used my own attack to cause me even further damage. I'm starting to like her. Despite the pain he's in, Izuku just started to laugh with an evil grin on his face. His crazy, psychotic face turned into a serious one in mere seconds. Despite this current setback, Zelik, it did give me opportunity to test my capabilities in my normal state since your little upgrade. But first thing first, I need to get this enhanced power form you gave me, my boost form, whatever, under control. That means more training. I'm quite surprised you're not going to seek vengeance. Vengeance? Why would I do such an idiotic thing? Yeah, this Lydia outsmarted me, outpowered me, and made me look like a fool. But I have no interest in revenge. But this defeat won't prevent me to keep her unchallenged. Call it what you will, revenge, payback. But out of principle, a counterattack is prudent, but not now. I have no doubt the gap between us is large, maybe oceans wide. But that won't always be the case, Zelik. Zelik had no disagreement, so he chose to speak no further on the subject. It was more interested to see what he'll do next. Once that cleanup, he used his shadow portal to get back to his room and sleep. When he woke up the next morning, his stab wound was completely healed. The other wounds from his own energy attack wasn't fully healed. There's a few areas of his body from his energy attack that hasn't healed properly or fully. It'll take another night of healing. But for now, he has minor cuts and bruises. Nothing he couldn't manage. Izuku's normal routine didn't change. He did light workouts in the morning, running around the neighborhood, eating breakfast, getting dressed, dedicating his time into training. He did this all the way through the rest of the summer. He did some serious, intense training to get his newfound power, his boost form, somewhat under control. It was hard to control it, but he eventually got a handle of it. He still hasn't completely mastered it yet, but he's making great progress. It's no longer a hindrance in battle, but a positive. But there's only a certain amount of time he can keep that state going. Izuku is currently in his villain gear, jumping from rooftop to rooftop. Grim hasn't used his normal daggers in a while. He's itching for a fight. His non-bone daggers, that's his metal ones, he carries around when he's in his villain persona. But he's not here for entertainment. Izuku's currently on the search for Leon. He has a lot of merchandise that he needs to sell off to get some money from the many shipments he stole from Muscular and his sister, Apex. Leon is in one of their safe houses that's mostly used for storage. It is an old office building that was abandoned and condemned so long ago. Leon immediately pulled out his pistol when he noticed he wasn't alone. Come out, I know you're there. It's been a while, Leon. You shouldn't have come back. What's stopping me from filling you with lead? It would be a waste of a bullet. But I did not come here to fight, Leon. Then why did you come? Grim? To see if you're interested in doing a little business arrangement. Leon raised his eyebrow, but he did not lower his pistol. Go on. You see, a little while back, I happened to came across some interesting merchandise. And I might have borrowed such merchandise from a villain from Japan. I believe he goes by Muscular. And his lovely sister. I have no doubt you've heard of him. Wait, you were the one who stole his merchandise? Indeed. You have connections, I do not. And I have a lot of merchandise. Military grade, ammo, grenade, C4. And I have a good amount of quantity of that fancy little drug named Trigger. Of course, I don't expect you to do this all for free, of course. Leon couldn't help but laugh. The same villain that he got attacked from now is here, trying to strike a deal. Very same villain that attacked him and his subordinates that he's under his command. He is the second in command of their gang that he operates in the city. Mostly does what his boss tells him to do. He finds this villain in front of him to be quite cocky, the ball's on him, to suggest a deal. But yet he is still intrigued. Give me a few days. I need to talk to my boss. If everything goes well, we could probably work with each other. How do I reach you? You don't. I'll come find you in a couple days. Grim opened a shuttle portal and stepped through it. When Leon was sure he was alone, he dialed a number on his phone. Short pause. The boss of this gang. I'm bringing in one of my old MCs from one of my fanfictions I created a while ago into this story. Same name. Well, the title of this. You'll know who she is because if you've seen this video at this point, I accidentally clicked on her picture a few times, so you get the gist who it is. So, anyways, let's continue. What do you have for me, Leon? The villain Grim made contact again. How many people did we lose? None, boss. Actually, he wanted to make a deal. A deal? What kind of deal? As Leon could sense or hear the dangerous tone in her tone of voice. Apparently Grim was the villain who attacked Muscular and stole all his merchandise. Interesting. Very well. Proceed. I want to meet him. Are you sure that's wise, boss? This might be a trap. Unlikely. This Grim doesn't seem the type to use that sort of method. He strikes me as someone who would rather kill someone in front of him, not stabbing someone in the back. I want you to set up a meeting the next time he makes contact with you. We'll set the meeting at a neutral location. Understood, Empress. Empress hanged up the phone and placed her feet on top of her desk. As a villain herself, she knows the likelihood of the first encounter with Grim was probably not personal. She saw the footage, his methods, how brutal he was, but he was effective. It seemed like he was testing things out, having fun. She didn't take it personal. She hates losing people, but recruiting more is a easy task. So that's why she never tried to hunt him down. Losing a few pawns wasn't a big deal. Grim is not really well known as a villain. That little stunt at the museum got a few eyes on him. But he hasn't been seen in the public eye ever since then. But she kept a close ear out on anything that involves Grim, his description, his any future activities. She's always found a good idea to keep a close track on new players that seem to be on the board. Grim visit Leon, like he said in 2 days. I'm here like I told you I would be, Leon. My boss wants to meet you to discuss terms. Please follow me. Sure. As Grim has a plastered fake smile on his face. Leon noticed it, but it was making him nervous. Of course, that was Grim's intention in the first place. Grim followed them outside of the abandoned office building into a black tainted car. Well, the windows are tainted black, basically. And stepped inside and sat down in the back seat of the car with Leon. As Leon motioned the driver to drive towards the meeting place. Once Grim sat down, he pulled out a Rubik's Cube out of nowhere and began to move the cube, turn the colors to try to solve the puzzle. Leon raised his eyebrow at Grim's actions, watching him solve the Rubik's Cube in mere seconds, then restart the puzzle again and do it over again, repeatedly. But he chose not to remark on it. Izuku did not stop playing with the Rubik's Cube. When they arrived at the meetup place, it was at an old abandoned summer camp. Izuku continued to play with his Rubik's Cube while he was being directed towards the more larger building of the summer camp, where all the camp counselors used when the camp was still in operation. So you must be Grim. Izuku solved the Rubik's Cube once again, then placed it in his coat pocket. That's me. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to meet you. Just call me Empress, after all, is my villain name. Please, have a seat. I hope you like green tea. Thank you, that would be lovely. Good. It will be done here in a few minutes. I got to admit, you got some balls to attack my people the way you did. And you had the gall to want to arrange a deal. Most amusing. It was nothing personal, it just happened to be the closest target I chose. Speaking of what, why did you target my people in the first place? Challenge, of course. Like I said, nothing personal. So let me get straight. You attacked one of my bases of operations to test yourself. Exactly. Empress threw her head back and started to laugh. She found it incredibly amusing. You're an odd one. You know that? Grim shrugged his shoulders at the young woman. As two well-dressed female maids came with tea and placed it on the table after pouring each cup for Grim and their boss, Empress. Grim took in the scent of the tea, just as precaution, by any chance it was poison. When he found no scent of poison that might have been slipped into the tea, he drank it calmly. Empress connected her fingers with each other and rested her elbows onto the table. Shall we get to business? I suppose we should, Empress. They began to discuss terms of their deal. After several hours of negotiating fair deals, they decide on a split profit. Grim and Empress decide on a rate amount of money that will be splitted. Grimm will be getting 50% of the profit, while Empress will get the other 50, plus with a 10% added to it, 60%. It was originally going to be 50-50, but Grimm added an extra 10% for extra profit gain for Empress, considering her people will be setting up the buyers. He has to merchandise. She's setting up the legwork. So as naturally, he would offer her more than a normal rate. Well then, if everything goes right, we would be making a whole lot of money together. Well, what about the trigger? You're not interested? About that. We don't deal with trigger. We don't deal with drugs. Not my scene. Weapons, merchantry. That's my cup of tea. Fair enough. Grimm and Empress shook on the deal. When their hands connected in a handshake. They both got up. Empress walked over to Grimm, wrapped her arms around his shoulder. Now that business out of the way, let's get this party started. Grimm decided to play along. Rejecting her offer would probably look like quite disrespectful. He normally doesn't hang out with people, but he'll make an exception. It didn't take long for Empress to start passing out beer. Her men are playing pool, music are playing. Izuku took a beer. He's never drinking beer before. It didn't take long for Grimm to start feeling the effects of the alcohol. Not much, but he could feel it. While playing darts with Empress. Empress and Grimm heard fighting outside. They ran the door to see Leon fighting River, a member of a rival gang. Her most hated rival, the Blood Queen. Empress acted immediately. Her fingers start to emanate red electricity as she shot out a red lightning bolt between Leon and River. What are you doing here, River? Ah, Empress. You know, the same old thing, you know. Saw you guys having a little party here, so I decided to crash it. And plus, my boss wants you out of the way. So sadly, I'm gonna have to kill you. Who am I kidding? I would kill you for free, bitch. As he charged towards Empress by leaping in the middle of the air, making a water blade in his hand. Well, his entire arm turned into a water blade. But River never got the chance to get close. When he was halfway, that's when Izuku acted. Grimm flash step right in front of the airborne River and grabbed him by the face and slammed the back of his head into the ground hard, slightly cracking the ground. River's body dissolved into water, then reformed a little bit away to get some distance. River acted like he wasn't even attacked. Well, who might you be? You're new. I like the whole skull motif you got going on for you. Very ominous. I like it. Okay, Mr. Spooky. Can you do me a favor? And buzz off? You're in my way. Don't make me have to kill you. I have nothing personal against you, but anyone in my way of my mission will die. Oh my, you're quite a cocky one. I find it amusing, but sadly, I can't do that. Nothing personal, it's just business. That's a shame. River immediately began to shoot out water bullets out of his fingers in a in a handgun motion. Naturally, Grim used his reflexes to dodge out of the way of the water bullets that's being fired upon him. As River is cracking at Grim, using his finger gesture as a gun to shoot more water bullets. Grim was keeping River distracted when she saw River let his guard down. She acted and rushed towards River. As she instantly threw a red lightning bolt at River, distracting him, then plunging her fists into his chest, is where Empress' fist imprinted. That part of his body turned into water as her fists sunk into his body. You know that doesn't work on me, Empress. Empress' face turned into a devilish smirk. I know. That's when the danger signs begin to ring in River's brain. His eyes widened as he tried to pull her fist out of his chest. It was already too late, as a large amount of red electricity charged through his body. Because part of his body was made into water, it was a really good conductor for her electricity attack, as it spread through his body, making River to scream out in pain. In response, he turned his entire body into liquid to negate the rest of the attack. But each time he tried to make his body full into water, Empress produced more red electricity coursing through his body, preventing him from activating his water ability to turn his body into pure water. But he eventually managed to do it, pushing past all the pain. He managed to kick Empress as her hand was pulled out of his chest. Part of his body is still liquid base. Half of his body is solid skin. Immediately jump or leap backwards to get some distance. Well, this kind of looks bad for me. As he's breathing heavy, that attack hurt him. Nothing too bad, but it didn't feel nice. 3 against 1. Not very good odds, if you ask me. I'm gonna have to take a rain check. We'll finish this at another time. When there's not so many of you, I might bring some of my own friends next time we meet. Enjoy your life while you can, Empress. I'll be coming back. Only a matter of time before your life comes to a brunt end. Sooner or later. Ciao. As River turned his body to completely water and sunk into the ground, disappearing completely. Nice reflexes. You did good, rookie. Who the hell is that? Just one of Blood Queen's lackeys. To be specific, one of her executioners. She placed her arm around his shoulder. Come on. I have no doubt I have much to tell you. They went back inside. Empress told Grim everything she knew about the villain hierarchy. She mentioned a few other villains, briefly, but the main focus of her discussion was intel on the Blood Queen. With a name like that, I could take a hint on her power. It didn't take Grim very long to calculate this Blood Queen. Probably has some sort of blood manipulation quirk, or a vampire quirk, maybe both. It's not uncommon when it comes to vampire quirks, blood manipulation usually comes with the package. And having a vampire quirk, it's not common. It's very rare. After the brief rundown on the villain hierarchy, he took his leave after he gave him her number, so she could keep contact with him easier. Then Grimm immediately left in his shadow portal and head back home. The next few weeks, Grimm kept contact with Empress, making sure all the merchandise is being sold without no problems. Izuku just got out of school. He made his way to his base of operation, to get his villain gear and to meet up with Empress. Grimm arrives at the location after he took a quick trip to his base. There was already a vehicle waiting for him. He swiftly got inside in the back seat as the driver drove. A few minutes later, they arrived just outside the city limits, in a forest a couple of miles away from the summer camp that they used to discuss their terms of their deal. A couple weeks ago, he followed one of the armed guards into the gate leading to a large manor. Empress met him at the door entrance. Good, you arrived. Grimm followed Empress to the basement area, where he entered a large room filled with several members of her gang, counting large amounts of money on the table. You guys seem busy. Military-grade weaponry sells like hotcakes, if you know the right people. We've already calculated the first payment of profit. We should have your cut for you in a few hours. In the meantime, you must be hungry. Have dinner with me. After this deal is over, I would not be opposed to continue this partnership. Very well, Empress. It would be rude of me to reject your kind offer. Grimm followed Empress upstairs to the ground level of the manor and followed her to a large room area as maids begin to serve them tea while the food is being cooked by the cooks in the kitchen, getting their dinner ready. I've been meaning to ask you, what are you going to do about Muscular and his sister? After all, you did steal their merchandise. And they're not known for their mercy. They're vile, even for villain standards. I've come across Apex a few times, but never Muscular yet. I haven't decided yet, but I'll deal with them. But there's no reason for me to search for them. They'll come and find me. But I do see the benefit in continuing cooperation with each other. I have no doubt. It will definitely be benefit for both parties. Indeed, it will. You're not affiliated with any of the villain factions. You're an ideal partner to work with, as long as our goals are in line. Agreed. I don't have some devious plan. I just like to have fun. And if I make money on the way, that's just a bonus. Or a nice addition. At this current time, fighting stronger opponents, either hero or villain. I care not who they are. And I don't even have to seek them out. They'll come find me eventually. I'll just have to wait to see how much carnage I could cause before people take notice. Empress could sympathize with Grimm. Now that she has a feel of his character, she knows for certain she won't have any problems working with him. He was telling the truth. She could tell. He doesn't have some sort of master plan. Yes, he clearly planned out battle when he targeted her people. But that's his battle planning. She could clearly tell he has no other plans besides in the heat of battle. She knows he's not stupid. In fact, she could tell he's highly intelligent. And there's nothing worse than the intelligent alpha predator. There's a slight smirk on her face. She calmly drinks her tea and continue the conversation with Grimm. This entire time, Grimm was analyzing his partner, analyzing Empress on her behavior, her personality. This is the first time he's interacted with another villain. That didn't result of them trying to kill each other. This has been an interesting turn of events for Izuku. The thought of working with, say, another villain never crossed his mind. He's not some sort of victim of the system, nor does he want society to crumble. Not out of some moral code. It's just too troubling, too much effort, for little benefit. Izuku has always been a bloodthirsty. He just liked the thrill of battle. As until now, he hasn't been able to display it so openly. Ever since he became a villain, he has a perfect outlet for his more unpleasant aspects of his personality. Meanwhile, in this city, Lydia, a member of the Holy Church Executioner Division, was observing Grimm through a large magical mirror where she could safely discover targets and observe them without being detected. Lydia was standing in front of the long, tall mirror, observing her target with her hands behind her back. One of her executioners approached. "I'm confused, ma'am. If you know his location, why haven't we been deployed to vanquish this thing?" "You see, soldier, I was a little bit too hasty in my previous encounter, and that mistake cost me several of our people. Several of our executioners were killed and their souls devoured by that abomination god and his abomination vessel. And I don't plan to make that mistake again." "I acknowledge my mistake, and a mistake I don't plan to repeat. I need to learn everything about Grimm. Highly doubt that's his real name, but his real name is not relevant at this juncture. I want him observed at all times. We can't hunt our prey if we don't understand it. Get back to your duties, executioner. I think it's about time we have a more permanent presence on this sinful world of quirks, viruses, a whole lot of them." Lydia personally would eradicate this world. He finds these humans to be tainted, what they call quirks. She finds them revolting. She doesn't view quirks as powers, as a positive. She views them as unclean, imperfections in this version of humanity, and it disgusts her. So she has all sorts of ideas going through her mind right now. But she ultimately decided to put down her method or her intentions to hunt down Izuku for now. She needs a better understanding of this world she's in and her prey. But for now, she'll continue to observe Grim, where he goes, who he meets, what associates he has. She needs to observe him in his original habitat, like observing a very dangerous predator, a very dangerous animal. That's where we're going to stop it. I'll catch you guys in the next part.